most corrupt kind of people that we have encountered in this job. They will speak so much BB grammar for you. When you tell them, look, this thing you're doing is wrong, they say, who are you? Where are you coming from? Who is behind you? So it boils down to our nature, the level at which we have gotten to, because poverty came in and corruption, the brother followed suit. So now the boats are affecting the people. Take a walk, for instance, through between the church from it about there, just down to FMC roundabout. PSP comes there, evacuates all the wastes along the median care. Before 4 in the evening, you come down, you see the same thing reoccurring. One time ago, the task force, they were stationed at different strategic positions in the night. And lo and behold, see some people from the interior, from their house, not even where PSP people are servicing a compound. They told the people that, look, we don't want to be part of the PSP. The government is carrying our waste. So what they do is in the night they send their children to go and drop those bags on the road in the middle of the middle care,
because they will come and
meanwhile their members are, their co-tenants are paying. Now when we had such reports, we now strategically positioned these boys, and when they caught some of them, they took them straight to A division. And the PSP, Waste Management Board, was involved, and they went there. They said, okay, which compound? They called the PSP involved. The PSP went there and presented the report that in this compound, especially this particular woman, all other people are paying, but she refused to pay.
See?
She paid dearly for it. So I think what the government should do is to empower the enforcement agents, not just with Mayor I sent you, but a policy that can drive that enforcement.
And guidelines.
Yes, and guidelines of operations too. Because even when you employ, give them in such positions, they also need to be monitored.
Because
like I said, poverty and corruption, they work hand in hand. So when you employ somebody who is poor and say, look, your work is to enforce this, and he's not properly remunerated,
it will change the situation.
And we are having such experiences. So I think government for now should do like currently from the report, from the broadcast of the commissioner on the 5th, she made the Deltans know that there is an existing law, Waste Management Board law, that empowers the government to enforce, and also that empowers the populace to report. You understand? So every is partnership kind of. So now, if the people who are fully involved in this waste environmental matter are working in synergy amongst themselves, it will also be a very good. That's why sometimes ago we made a request. Let there be synergy between the MDAs involved in this, so that the local government will not be doing different things from what the state, Ministry of Environment, because they are all under Ministry of Environment. So they should, just like the government, Okowa has done a lot, Senator Dr. Okowa has done a lot by creating that, Delta State Waste Management, Delta State Task Force is under one umbrella. Now they are all controlled by one person. Now the local government should be submerged under them. The Waste Management Board, which is already under them. Now all of them should be accountable to the Ministry of Environment. And the Ministry of Environment will now send supervisors to supervise their work,
whatever they are doing,
so that they will know that they are not alpha and omega. I think it will help going forward.
So Bishop, looking at what he had just said, from let's say from interval down to a traffic light, where you even branch to the streets there, you see waste dumped on a median care. How do you see such character? How do you see such behavior? The time I saw that thing first was in Abia State in 2011. That time, if you look at Abia State, in fact, it's an eyesore. You understand? But I don't know how it is now. But we don't want our state to, turn to that kind of a situation. So how do you look at it? How do you look at it?
Yeah, just to add to what he said, when you come to the major roads and you see refuse being dumped on the major road,
yes.
Apparently I don't think it's the businesses that are run in that area that do it.
No.
Okay.
There are people who live in the interiors.
Yes.
So if you ask me, maybe government should reach out to community leaders, reach out to maybe religious leaders, because these people definitely they don't live on those roads where they put those things. They live in the inner place.
Yes.
They must have family heads. They might have, maybe take as for example, they have obufis, they have obis who control some of those areas.
They have been doing it too. Government have been doing it. You understand? And even some of the obishis don't even comply with the PSPs. They resist.
Well,
you understand? I don't know. It will tell you.
Okay, that's possible. So at the end of it all, it still boils down to sensitization and deterrence.
Yeah.
When in the scriptures, when the fathers eat sour grape, the children sit and sit on edge. When people commit crimes and then nobody's made to pay for it, you send a wrong signal.
Yeah.
If tomorrow I as the bishop I'm caught, maybe I'm driving my car on the road and I'm leaking sweet and I throw it out and they stop me on the road, they shouldn't say because I'm a man of God I should go free. If need be, bring me on television.
Yes.
Of course I'll try and plead, use my good office and say please pardon me, blah blah blah. In fact there was once I was caught driving without seatbelt.
Okay.
In Asabaye. I like what one of the men said to me because it humbled me.
Okay.
He said, Bishop, we know you. He said, so if we allow you, a bishop, to drive past us and we saw you without your seatbelt on, and funny enough, I entered the place that was not too far from where I was caught. So when I came in, that natural reflex of say put on the seatbelt, they didn't come into play immediately. So I forgot. They packed me. I don't know. I paid the fine. And so now no matter where I'm going, I just tell myself, let me respect my office. And those who if I enter into a car now, my driver, my PA, the first I say, please put on your seatbelt, because I have been made to realize publicly that what I was doing was not right, and it's for my own good at the end of the day. Because on impact, if I was to have an impact and that seatbelt is not there to restrain me, I'll become a fine object.
That's true.
The windscreen will be my,
No, savior.
You need to save me. That's not what we first.
That's the exit point.
Yeah, not my exit point. So deterrence is something that we're very poor in this country. People get away with everything they do. If we want to get back our society to become a clean society, get our environment to become healthy for all of us, people who err should be made to pay to face the law.
Okay.
That's a very strong point I think we should consider. So government will work on that.
Yeah. So, madam, looking at the environment, let's say planting of tree. Is it good to plant trees, and what are the benefits of planting of tree?
Hey. Too many benefits planting trees.
Okay.
Let me talk about myself. I passed through. I was in a double-decker bus from Washington DC to New York.
Okay.
And all I was seeing, trees. And I'm like, I told my daughter, is it that these people have more space than Nigeria? Look at how beautiful, look at the scenery.
Yes.
And of course you all know that carbon monoxide is not good, yes. But we know the trees will give us that oxygen we need.
Yes.
And we know we give out the carbon dioxide the trees would need. It makes the environment. In fact, when you go abroad and come and say your skin is shiny, many things follow. And you ask yourself, Is it that we do not have the space in Nigeria to plant? Each house would build swimming pool, these houses they will never live in, blah, 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 and you will never see one tree. I said before, Nigerians like it hard. Can there be a rule for schools, for churches, for individual houses, mandatorily to have a tree, whether it's producing mango or not, whether it's just for the shade, because of the benefit, the health benefit of it producing that oxygen that humans need. And it getting the carbon dioxide we don't need to help them grow. You know, I want to think we should stop this attitude of building and finishing the whole one plot because you bought it with your money. Let government sanction people. We don't like it easy. I have one small mango tree because I don't want to waste space. You understand? Our parents will tell you, no, remove it, you know, because so that when we turn, we don't do. I said, let us have one first. And then, like I said, you asked the question, and the question is it good to plant? And I think yes, rather than going on and on, but let government make it mandatory for each house to have at least one. If we all do, and then create an area where you don't really have to build anything, no hotels, you know, just green areas where you go around and then the children will go around, maybe play around and have some kind of picnic. We need a good life, my brother. We do need. Not the only Igbo people need that. We need it.
So, Theophilus, looking at what they have just said, what are those things that people are really passing through? Because people are saying that PSPs are not doing well at all. That you people are not doing well. So what do you think? What are those things that are making you people not to do well?
Well, the PSPs are doing well.
Okay.
If not, the PSPs are not doing well.
If I don't praise myself,
they are
if I don't praise me, I will praise myself.
The PSPs are doing very well. Because if the PSPs are not doing very well, by now there would have been epidemics in Delta.
Okay.
You know. So the challenge we have is the compliance to the tariff.
Okay.
And the Waste Management Board, in conjunction with the Ministry of Environment, has come up with a new tariff, which was published in the Pointer newspaper on Friday last week, page 15. And it's also to encourage the populace to do the needful, do the right thing. The challenge the PSPs face, they are numerous, stemming from the attitude of our people towards waste management from the home. You know, like Madam said some time ago, abroad, wastes are separated, they are segregated into different bags. But we've not gotten there yet. But even with the one we are doing here, it's still a very big problem. Some time ago, the government came up with this waste bin with a token of, just a little token. You get the bucket. So many people got those buckets and turned it to water storing facility for the area houses. You know, so then when you come to carry their waste, you'll be looking at the bucket you distributed to them and see that they use it to store water. You'll be wondering, is there not supposed to be? I had an experience. I took my boys to a particular compound to evacuate waste, and when we got there, we went into the house. I said, okay, they should go to that green and the brown one. Only to go get it in there, it was water. I was confused. I asked the people, is it water in storage bucket that we gave you or for waste? And they say, no, don't. That's government has given us, so please, we don't have this opportunity. I said, okay. So that's attitude and the way we behave. We should change. Then payment. People don't want to pay for waste. Even with the little one we have been asking people pay. Today, diesel goes for as high as 720 naira per liter to 750. A PSP that goes to a particular area to evacuate waste. And where we dump these wastes for for maintenance is at Ibuzo. Now you can imagine how many liters of diesel you would take just to carry waste from Asaba to Ibuzo and then come back and evacuate the houses.
So I want to chip in something.
Yes.
Now the 1,000 or 150, 1,150, 1,005 that you were receiving before. People have not been paying.
Yes.
Because of one thing or the other.
Yes.
And I learned that people are now saying that they should pay 3,000 naira. So how do you think that people will comply with that?
Now, the government, before that was published, the government sat down and they have looked into it. There is a law in Delta State, and government is saying they are stamping their feet.
Are you going to arrest the whole people?
No. You see, there is a process in everything.
Okay.
Now, the judiciary is not there for play.
Okay.
They are there to do the needful, to do the right thing. Now, they cannot. There is a process before somebody even goes to court. First, you serve contravention notice. Contravention notice to check where you are going wrong.
Abatement first.
That's why abatement, then contravention, then before they now send you the court summon.
Yes.
Now, if that gets to that level of court summon, everybody knows what it takes. Now, the government did not just increase it. There is a machinery on ground already.
Okay.
For instance, like as I keep referring to commissioner, because most people don't listen to radio or televisions most times. Now what she did was to explain to Deltans that there is a particular, if you are occupying an area, by law you are supposed to take care of a particular meter designated in that your area. So when the task force will kickstart fully now, what they are going to do is to go with what the law says. If they come in front of any compound, they know who owns what. They can seal up the place and people will do the right thing. So it is no more business as usual. The government has come up to make sure that Deltans live in an environment that, like as Madam referred to, people should use Delta as a reference point to other states. And that's what Okowa has set off to do now.
Yeah. So Bishop, looking at what you have just said, people resisting to pay the token for evacuating their waste, and now they are increasing the amount to double, times 2 of what people have been paying, or times 3 of what people have been paying. How do you look at it?
The truth again, we'll go back to the first statement that we are as healthy as our environment.
Okay.
I think it's an issue of fundamental understanding.
Okay.
If you know that if your environment is clean, the chances of living a clean life is higher.
Yes.
If the environment is dirty and polluted, it opens up to diseases. And when disease come, it doesn't come to one person. Take for example, a compound that is not clean, that they have ponds or water everywhere, and mosquitoes, breed there, and it enters the house of 6 people, and under 2 weeks, 4 persons are down with malaria in the house. One may even die, as the case may be.
Yes.
And you have to spend so much to take care of 4 people who are sick. While if in a month you bring out 3,000 to keep your environment clean, you are keeping mosquitoes at bay. Okay. So again, it boils down to sensitization. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge. People don't know the benefits of having a good environment. Like where I live, my mother says you have one mango tree in your compound. Yes. I have 2 orange trees in my compound.
Okay.
And they breed at different times. So the whole year I have 3 orange to lick in my house. I planted a very big pine tree by my window. My room is the coolest place in the world. I don't use AC to sleep. Just keep your windows open. The tree is in a hurry to give me
everything.
The oxygen I need, and I give it back the carbon dioxide and all that. So if people know the benefits of having a clean environment and the pain, yes, the mission that goes with having the opposite, they will pay whatever they have to pay. So I think it boils down again to, please, I want the PSP people, I'm going to encourage you, and even the government, don't get tired of letting us know what we are to do. It doesn't truth doesn't sink in a minute, in a minute. We eat every day to stay alive. So we need to hear some of this, we need to keep saying them over and over and over again until the average person accepts it, accept as as the right thing to do, and reap benefit. You can see the time they are doing. Look at it,
You live here, you are okay. You don't have problems. Look at this week. Outside and all everything. Natural. This is nature.
So I think we need to sensitize the people. We want to doing that.
So now, what do you have to tell the people having this kind of situation?
Sorry, I like being a little harsh on environmental issues.
Yes.
And PSP, I'll attack them first.
Okay.
How many times have you actually brought out jingles?
Okay.
Particularly maybe Saturday mornings when most people are in their houses and threaten. If you pay your bills. I know you are wasting diesel, I know you're burning a lot of whatever, but put some kind of fear in our stubborn heads. If you do that regularly, you go around, because I know you people have mapped out areas, your area where you handle. You go to those your areas and say, pay your bills, and do not allow people to tell you nonsense. When 10 persons are in the compound, one person decides to be the Judas. No, you make every person pay.
Right.
And if they are not, let there be a kind of swift action on that particular, make the person's life miserable. Insult the person. If the person has a job, maybe in the ministry, report to their boss or do something. There must be a follow-up so that people will fall in place. And I'll talk about these iron condemned people.
Okay.
Please, something needs to be done. They are beginning to be.
God, I
don't know whether I'll call them nuisance in the community, and nobody talks. Because people are scared.
Point now. Every minute they are passing.
People are scared they have daggers with them. Nobody wants to lose his life. Or nobody wants to confront them like the person who confronted them once in front of the midwifery market area, and he was stabbed to death. And people were like, hey, don't die you. And nobody wants to be in that kind of scenario. Was the person arrested? Was there a follow-up to tell us whether the person was reprimanded? No. And that one died a natural death, and he was maybe set free. He left. So people are scared. Let us follow rules. We have rules. I know everything has collapsed to a point, but we can still handle things. Those iron condemned persons must not come to our areas, pour the things out, pick the things they want, and live as if with some kind of now we did there, now we the wrong things, and nothing is happening, and they keep doing that, and it makes us look inferior. It's annoying that you have a street and you look at these people, pour this thing, they look at you, they won't greet you, they are the bosses, and then they leave, and then you start asking your workers, I beg, no vex, help me put it back inside the car. Well, for how long are we going to take this nonsense? They must be reprimanded. Okay. At all costs, street by street. PSP would help us do that, because they are the ones who pack these things. They must help us do that. Like I said, we need to put people. They say there are no jobs.
Create jobs.
We can create those jobs.
Yes.
Street by street, please.
So PSP, man, looking at what we are discussing. Some people go as far as building. We are in rainy season now.
Yes.
You see some people building on the waterways. You understand?
Yes.
Blocking the channel of the water. How do you look at this thing? Because that one is even dangerous, disastrous. You get? Because when water, I was in a place in this midwifery market when that NNPC filling station.
Yes.
We hid ourselves there because of rain. We were just there when we just heard boom. You understand? The floor just hit the wall, and it was by the God grace. People were at the other side of it, but the thing now fell this side. You understand? and those people were just left just like that. You get? So because of building on waterway. So how do you look at this kind of a thing? Now we are in rainy season.
I think the government agencies should help us, because we have been talking on this matter for some time now. Ministry of Lands and Survey,
Urban planning.
Don't we have a master plan of the state before people is given approval to build? I think people should take responsibility. That's how I need to put it. People are not taking responsibility of what they are doing, of their actions.
But you know that some people, when they even give them what they have to do, immediately you leave, they will do something else. I don't see that kind of a situation.
So when he's doing something else, whose responsibility is it to monitor?
Yeah.
Now let's take for instance what happened in Lagos State recently.
Okay.
The man was told to build at a particular level. He felt that the people who started the structure with him got to the point. They said, look, this thing can't go further. He abandoned them and picked a different set of engineers, and those ones continued. How many lives were lost? Do we still have the story of what is the update?
No, the story is under the bridge.
The people building on waterways, sometimes the Ministry of Urban Planning men, how do they allow people to build on waterways? And all of us will be watching these things, and it will keep growing. And remember those days, this Nebisi Road,
yes,
those days, the Nitel cable passed under.
Yes, okay.
That Nitel cable also permitted flood.
Okay, to pass through it.
To pass through it.
Okay.
That is why in Asaba, in those days, there was no, till today, when they were constructing the dual carriageway of Nebisi now, you see one side of it still have that hole, because they couldn't close it. Although it's useless, they are not using it anymore. So people, the essence of that is also to make sure that water does not accumulate. So those building on waterways, we need to beg them. They should desist going forward. And before I stop, now the rain has come. The media caps are all growing with bushes.
Yes.
Going from Asaba to Ibuzo, the media cape is filled up with bushes.
Yes.
Whose responsibility is it to clear it? That is a breeding point for people dropping in illegal wastes.
Okay.
Who clears it? It belongs to the ministry.
Okay.
So they should do well. Then finally, before I stop, along the Nebisi Road, they are planting trees.
Yes.
Nelson Mandela is planting trees, maintaining it. Now, our people will drive their keke and destroy those trees. I passed through between FMC, getting to Conway Plaza. One of the trees is begging for help. Yet these people come just to make sure that we have trees. Look at the mango trees. Planted so many years ago from Upper Road. Today the people are around that area there. Not just the care, but the mango itself, it gives you the fruit. That's what they are trying to replicate along the major road, but our people doesn't want these trees to grow.
Bishop, 1 minute, please. Your advice.
My final advice, everything starts with the head. When the head is sick, the body will be sick. Let me say very bluntly. Government has an onerous tax in making policies and seeing that these policies are obeyed to the letter. And those who default, the government should come hard on them without preference.
So, madam,
simple.
What do you have to say?
I don't have so much to say. I'll just say do something to help us in terms of the iron condemned people. That's all.
Well, thank you so much. We have come to the end of today's program, You and Your Environment. I want to thank especially the PSP man, Comrade Theophilus Ogo. Thank you so much for being here with us. Then I have to thank Bishop Ebolum. You are welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us. And Dr. Gloria Ogugwa, you are welcome, and thank you so much. We will come back again to this program next week, and I pray that you continue to watch this program and take action concerning your environment. I remain your host, Gilbert Olie. Thank you so much.